Hey everybody, we just wrapped up with the Northwest Mountain Challenge in Tamarack, Idaho over the weekend. And as we're getting prepped and ready for the next one coming up in Hoodoo, Oregon next weekend, just wanted to give you guys a little insight into what the Northwest Mountain Challenges are all about. So the Northwest Mountain Challenge is a 3-leg event held every year in the summer. First one being in Tamarack, Idaho. Next one is in Hoodoo, Oregon. And then we have one in Stevens Pass coming up in July as well. A really great event that they hold every year. We like to come out and support every single year as well. And lots of vendors, lots of great courses, and it's really a great event just to essentially help you get prepped for the upcoming season as well, put you in some of those situations that you might find in a hunting scenario. So it's extremely enjoyable. We love being at these events, and we just wanted to give you guys a little insight into some of the courses and the vendors you can expect to see at these events. So thanks for watching and enjoy the video.
Here we are, getting ready to go up. Well, we're going up the lift at Tamarack. Going to film a couple of courses of shooters for you guys. It's a beautiful weekend. We've got the resort here, and all the condos, all the Airbnbs, whatever. That's a good jump. A lot of mountain biking, a lot of drop-off jumps, a lot of courses they set up for that too. So that 11 ring's about a 2-inch circle, and I think it's about a 7 or 8-inch circle for the 10 ring, but at that distance, at around the 57-yard mark, plus or minus, it's not an easy shot when you look at the slope of the mountain and then the brushing away, and they're in a little draw right now, so they're a little protected from the wind, but the arrow's crossing over a pretty big updraft. But they're holding their line pretty well on that. Okay, here's how it works, guys. Today for the competition shooters are shooting the mule deer foundation course. So this was a 57.5-yard downhill shot, but here's how the scoring works. Today's scoring is going to be the super kill is going to be an 11, the kill is going to be 10, the lungs are going to be 8, and then anything outside that scribed line is going to be a 5. Unless you miss the target, then it's a 0. So that's the scoring today. There's different classifications of competition. So you've got bow hunter freestyle. They allow mover pin sights on that, but with no magnification. And you have to have under a 12-inch stabilizer, and we'll show you some of that in a few minutes too. And then freestyle is going to have magnification if you want it. You're going to have long stabilizer out front, but you can have V-bars in the back as well. Bow hunter freestyle can have V-bars in the back, but they can't have them up front. So we'll talk to a group of guys that we just filmed here shooting this elk, some good shots on that, and show their equipment. 3 out of the 4 are shooting bow hunter freestyle, and one of them is going to be in the freestyle because of the stabilizer length, and we'll show you their setup so that you know what you're going to be using if you show up here. So a lot of them are just using their hunting bows that they've got set up. Sometimes they run a little lighter arrow for these events, but sometimes they run the same arrow they're going to hunt with. So this is all in preparation for hunt for most shooters, but there is a lot of money to be had here when you're at the mountain challenges. So the Northwest Mountain Challenge, if you can get out there and shoot them, you should do it. It gets you prepped and ready for the hunting season and your skill set, but it also puts some legs and lungs in you too. So all right, I'm here with Bryce. He's one of the lead engineers at Spot Hog Archery. So obviously you're shooting a spot hog. I've got one on my hunting bow too. Yep. But let's talk about setup. So you signed up for Bow Hunter Freestyle?
Bow Hunter.
Bow Hunter is how it is here. So So some of the rules that they have for bow hunter are?
All movable sights are okay. There's no restriction on moving or non-moving, number of pins. It's all just no lens on the sight. Move it as much as you want. Stabilizers are a 12-inch stabilizer or shorter.
Out of the front?
Out of the front and off of the quick disconnect off the back. So,
okay, measured from the quick disconnect back.
Yep. So
right.
I'm I think 11 and 3/8 on the back, and I think I'm like an 11 and 1/8 on the front for my total length.
All right. So if you're shooting competition here, the nice thing is they've modified these rules, and we call it kind of like bow hunter outlaw in a lot of places too. Right. So because usually bow hunter freestyle allows 5 fixed pins and you can't move them, and you got to stack and gap the shot. Now with the mountain challenges, they know it's already hard enough. You're taking long shots, you know, over 100-yard shots on mountains, through brush, on side hills with a lot of wind. So they allow you to move that, so they give you that luxury of what you would go in the woods hunting with.
Right.
And so you've got the new Booney on your bow.
Yep.
How you liking it?
I love it. This is the new sight we just brought out this year. We actually just started shipping them here about a month or so ago.
Yep.
So everybody that I've talked to that's gotten one's loved it so far.
Yep, so. I've got one too. So I integrated mine. I'm shooting the Matthew, so I used a bridge lock. You've got yours on a Dart and Sequel 33. Yep. I assume this is your hunting bow?
This will be my hunting bow this year, yes.
Awesome. Well, good luck finishing the shoot. I'm going to probably jump ahead of you and catch some more competition shooters.
Sounds good.
And hopefully you come out near the top.
That's the game plan. Thanks.
Everybody, I'm with John at Peacemaker Knives. So you're one of the sponsors for the Northwest Mountain Challenge. You got an awesome line of knives I'm seeing here. So let's talk about some of them. What steels do you primarily use?
I'm big into 80 CRV2. It's a very forgiving and durable mild steel. I do have some stainless using AEBL right now, and 1095 here and there. Do have a few Damascus knives that are 80 CRV2 and 15 and 20. It's a good combination. Makes the colors really stand out.
Awesome. Now, what's your most popular knife or style that you sell?
This model here, these two right here are the profile of my most popular model right now. That's called the Gideon. Got a few buddies that I've given those two to try out. Really like the performance of it. It's thin, it's light, stays really sharp.
It's got a really good balance to it too. All right guys, this is Joe from Archery Northwest, and I'm here with Aaron from 6 AM Outdoors. He's one of the sponsors for the Northwest Mountain Challenge, and we're here in Tamarack. So this is the first leg of the Northwest Mountain Challenge. There's 3 specific legs they do. They do Tamarack, Hoodoo, and Stevens Pass. So Aaron, you're sponsoring this leg, so tell me about some of your gear.
Well, actually, we're going to be sponsoring and be at all 3 of them.
All right.
But yeah, so we have all kinds of assorted lightweight backcountry gear, from pack organizer bags all the way up to tarps, shelters, quilts, workout bags, game bags, you name it. We've got all kinds of different things.
Awesome. I see you got a bow carrier there for, is that the back seat?
Yeah, for the back seat of the truck. Obviously, I couldn't bring a seat in here, but yeah, so actually that's the way I carry it in my truck.
Right.
So I could just reach back behind the seat and jump out and go.
Right, it's a nice way to do it.
Yeah.
All right, so I see some tents and some teepees set up behind you, so let's walk around and take a look at those.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you got your first one here. It's a single man.
Yeah, so these two shelters right here are new for 2024. This is our one-man trekking pole setup, single person tent. You can run it with or without the fly, or you can run it with or without the nest. So you can set it up either way. You've got a large entry here in the front, bathtub floor. It's 100% waterproof. Stake out on all four sides. You've got guy outs on either end, so you can create a little more space. Great lineup, especially for those that are hiking the Pacific Trail or the AT or something like that, or if you're just that soloist backpacker, hunter, whatever. It works out great. You've got a little vestibule that comes down. You can, shelter some of your gear, maybe your boots, whatever, so you don't have to keep it inside with you. So.
And what's the overall weight of this one?
The overall weight of this is 1 pound 10 ounces.
All right, 1 pound 10 ounces, and you use your trekking pole for the ridge top.
Exactly.
Awesome. And then your next?
So this is our Bridger shelter. Again, one of the other new ones for 2024. Same thing, you can run it with or without the fly, with or without the nest. So it could be your floorless shelter if you want. Sets up also with trekking poles. All of our shelters are going to come with stakes and guy lines. This is technically a two-person, and it's great just for two people. You can keep a little bit of gear in both vestibules. You got two doors, you got one on either side.
That's a game changer, as the two doors, because climbing over each other gets old.
It's absolutely great. So you've got your opening here on either side, half moon zip doors. It's great. The overall weight of this shelter is 2 pounds 8 ounces. All right, so this has been the staple line of 6 a.m. since pretty close to the inception. We have a smaller version of this, which I don't have set up. I didn't bring enough poles with me, but it is the Madison Mini. So it is basically this, but smaller. It's 7 feet 6 by 7 feet 6 by 5 feet tall. All of our floorless shelter lineups come with a stove jack. All of them are seam sealed with a waterproof zipper. They're made of sil poly, so you don't have to worry about sag and stuff like that when they get wet. The Madison here is 9 feet 6 by 9 feet 6 by 6.5 feet tall, and it weighs right at about 2 pounds 8 ounces, give or take.
With the bathtub?
So no, that is actually an added half nest.
Okay.
That we just came out with for 2024. It's the half nest, and that is an absolute game changer. We actually had two guys come by earlier. They were like, we got ate up by bugs with our floorless shelter. And so they'd like to have something like that. So the Madison has, like I said, been a staple. It's a 4-man, or it works really well with 2 guys in a stove. You can fit 3 in a stove. We've done that before, but you have to put your gear somewhere else. So yeah, this is, I love this shelter. This is normally what I...
Well, and it's a unique design. Usually teepees have an octagon shape or hexagon shape. This one's a square teepee, so it's a little bit easier to figure out how to set up. If you're doing it in the dark or bad weather, you don't have to worry about as many staking problems, it doesn't look like.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is our big dog. This is a 6-man shelter. We call it the Madison XL. You've got 2 doors, one on either side, opposite of each other. You've got the stove jack. Same thing with all of our floorless shelters. They're all seam sealed. They're gonna come with guy lines, stakes. It sets up with 2 poles, and the thing you'll notice is just the amount of actual room that you have in there. So a lot of other companies, like was mentioned earlier, they have kind of an octagon or a circular teepee pattern. Well, we found that to be really inconvenient when you've got multiple guys. You go to sit up, you know, in the morning if there's dew or whatever, you're scraping your head on the shelter and stuff like that. Well, we wanted something that was a little more comfortable and provided more headroom. So we came with a ridge version of our teepee, and that's exactly what it did. It provided all kinds of headroom. You've got guy outs that can actually bring it out even more if you want. So this is an awesome lineup. This shelter right here is 4 pounds, 5 ounces, I believe it is.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it. Good luck at all the events and promoting your product, and we're glad that you're here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You bet. All right, everybody, I'm with Fireside Pine, and he is one of the sponsors for the Tamarack shoot in the Northwest Mountain Challenge. So this is the first leg of that challenge, and I'm here with Eric. So Eric, tell me about Fireside Pine.
So we are a veteran-owned, American-made clothing brand. We donate part of our proceeds to veteran nonprofits. We're all about our connection to nature through the images in our clothes for mental health. We donate mostly to Idaho backcountry veterans, who has a tent next to me here. And it's just my wife and I that started this 2 years ago down in Meridian, Idaho, and created everything that's here.
That's awesome. And then behind you, you got your American-made. You got your veteran-owned, obviously, along with Idaho backcountry veterans.
Yep.
So it's good to get to know you guys. We live in Nampa ourselves, my wife and I, and we have our businesses in Vancouver, or in Washington and Oregon. But we spend a lot of time in Idaho, so it's good to get to know all the nonprofits here that are supporting all the veterans in the area.
Absolutely.
So appreciate it. So you got a lot of good apparel. Let's take a look at some of it.
Yeah, we're considered athleisure. We're much more the leisure side of things. So we have the leggings. We have joggers, we have shirts, hoodies, hats, just anything that's nice and comfy for you to wear around the house, going out for errands, around the campfire, those types of things.
Awesome. Now, when you say, where does this money go when you make it? You say you donate and support a lot of the other nonprofits in the area?
Yeah, so we donate primarily to Idaho backcountry veterans. So we do tell people it's 5% of gross, 10% of our net proceeds, but we're 2 years in where we don't have proceeds yet. We're not profitable.
Right.
That being said, we are coming up on, we're over $25,000 that we've donated to them and other nonprofits in the Treasure Valley and Pacific Northwest.
That's awesome.
So really putting our money where our mouth is.
Right. Well, that's true. I mean, and you got to obviously reinvest in your business to grow it.
Yes.
And then supporting the cause of the veterans in the area is really cool too. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, and we believe that doing things for the right reason, you get people respond, and it's leading up to now having our own storefront that we're going to be launching this fall in the village in Meridian.
Oh, that'll be awesome. So once you will get an update on that when it starts to happen, and when we'll make sure we get that posted up for you too.
That'd be great. Appreciate it.
You bet. All right, I'm here with Dustin Delorier. He is up from the neck of woods where the Lacey shop is in Washington.
That's right.
He supported our Archery World Classic that we put on the last few years. So, Dustin, let's talk about all the stuff that you got going on. Now, I know last year you introduced your Student of the Woods book. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
Okay, so Student of the Woods, it's a book I wrote, and it's a story of growing up as a hunter. It shows the progression from learner to practitioner to teacher. By the end of the book, I have a couple of stories in there about how I took some friends out and showed them how to do it. That's right, that's actually one of the friends that's actually a picture of Hoodoo, Northwest Mountain Challenge Hoodoo. And this is a friend of ours who is on one of the targets and looking a little downtrodden, if you will. And I just felt like that captured the moment perfectly from a hunting perspective, right? Because like the average hunter is not all success in the way of like a big rack or a massive elk or anything like that. Most of the time it's like you're just out hiking in the woods with your bow or your rifle or whatever.
Right.
You know, building memories, and that's essentially what this book is. It's a call back to all those memories of the average.
That's awesome.
But what I wanted it to be was like a transitional book for people who don't know, don't understand, and want to learn. And I feel like it hit the nail on the head. I've sold over 200 copies. It's available online on Amazon. $18.99, and yeah, it's doing great so far.
That's awesome. Well, and another hobby and pastime that you do is you do leather carving, and you do a lot of different, bone carvings and stuff like that. You've actually done some of the things that we've used and given away at the Archery World Classic. So that's a pretty cool thing that you got going on too.
Yeah, the piece that you have behind you right there. This is the first piece I've done by myself, and what I mean by that is it's all my inspiration, right? Things that I like and love. The U.S., right? The flag, archery, the people. And so this is my Liberty and Justice for All piece.
Awesome.
So it took me about 50 hours. This is for sale, $1,800, and it's yours, Joe. You could have it hanging on your
All
wall.
right, that's awesome.
But I'm also getting into clothing. You can see behind you, I've taken that logo, the Liberty with the bow, putting it with a motto that I truly believe in, never give up, never give in, and putting it on some attire.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, buddy.
Hey,
it's
thank
good to
you.
see you here.
Yeah, nice to see you
It was
too.
a long drive for you, but we appreciate you being here and supporting the challenge. So the archery, the Northwest Mountain Challenge is put on by Dead On Archery. That's TJ and Heather. They do a phenomenal job with this. There's 3 legs. This is the first leg here at Tamarack. They will also do Hoodoo and Stevens Pass. So if you're interested in shooting that, don't hesitate, sign up. I think they said that there's a massive amount of archers already signed up for Hoodoo, so you want to be a part of that. The weather's great here. It's going to be about 77 degrees and partly cloudy. It's going to be an awesome day here to be up on the mountain.
Great. Yeah.
So.